everyone, I'm MaryAnn. I'm a visual artist and voice coach from Singapore, currently in Singapore, and welcome to another installment of my weekly vlog series, Live Your Dream. So this is where I share what I'm learning in my journey so far as an artist, as a voice coach, as someone who is all about living my dreams and going after what I'm passionate about, and ultimately creating a worthy and meaningful purpose for myself and living the best life that I can possibly live. I believe that each of us is on a unique path, and it is up to us to create how we want to live this life, and nobody can tell you how you should or shouldn't do it. And I think part of the journey also is really discovering what truly matters to you, what you want your life to really be about. And I think our dreams kind of give us a clue as to what that direction might be. So I definitely don't have all the answers, but I'm here to share what I'm learning so far in my journey as a way of inspiring, encouraging, or motivating you to keep going on yours, and giving you some insights on as to how this journey really is, because it's not an easy journey at all, but I believe that it is going to be a really, really worthwhile one if you decide to walk a path that truly is meaningful and matters to you. So if you have questions about this, feel free to ask them in the comments, or you can also directly message me through any one of my social media links which you see in the write-ups attached to these videos. So this past week, I spent 3 days assisting in a transformative program at the coaching community where I am quite an active member of. So assisting is one of the ways in which we continue to work on our consciousness and to work on our higher path and to work on ourselves and evolving ourselves. So even though we are not the participants in the program, by being assistants, we are also running our own program where we get to practice certain principles, because by applying them into the context of the program and handling the tasks that are needed for that program to function well, it is also a way for us to practice certain things that we can then apply back into working on our lives. So one of the principles that we intentionally practice in the program is called intention. So we practice 7 principles altogether, and the first one of them is intention. And intention is the first principle because it is the start of everything. It tells us why we are doing what we're doing and what are we really doing it for. And this is bigger than just a goal or a specific outcome that we want to have, or even a reason why that we're doing it. So to give you an example of what I mean by intention, or at least what I'm starting to understand about intention, currently I'm working on my 100-day illustration project, and I'm on day 65 at the moment. And I would say that, my goal for this project could be that I want to complete 100 illustrations over 100 days. And I want to develop this series of work to see what it could potentially be. So some people might say that that is an intention, but what I realized is that this is more like a goal or a certain outcome that you want to have. And the intention is actually something much larger than that. So when I look deeper into why I'm really doing this project, I see that it leads back into my larger intention as an artist, which is wanting to make a difference in the world through my art, wanting to positively contribute to the world through my art and allow people to see something bigger, deeper, more truer to themselves that they never saw before, or to change their perspective around something, and ultimately allow people to get connected to something that's more authentic and more true to them. And so that, I would say, is my intention as an artist. And because that's my intention as an artist when it comes to this project, it is also a part of that intention. And one other thing about intention also that is bigger than just the goals and outcomes and the why is also a certain driving force that gets you going in that direction. So when it comes to intention, it's not just about setting your goal, setting the outcome, but there's also this will or this force that allows you to move in that direction towards that goal and that outcome that you want. Because it's very easy to say that, my goal is this, right? Like we have our 5-year plans, 10-year plans, 1-year plans. It's very easy to write down our goals and to say that, okay, I have a clear direction how I want to go. But then if you don't actually have the willpower to see things through, if you don't have that ability to make sure that you actually do whatever it takes to get to the end point, then you're kind of missing intention there. So intention is a lot bigger than our goals and our outcomes and the why that we do it. It's, if anything, it's an all-encompassing thing. And I'm starting to see that if we really look deeper into, the goals and the outcomes that we want to have when it comes to living our best life, and it's not just limited to your career, it's also your relationship goals, your health goals, every single aspect of our lives, there is a much deeper intention that drives us towards living this best life that only you can possibly live. So discovering what your intention really is when it comes to your life is a very critical step in terms of, ensuring that you stay on track towards the goals and the outcomes that you want. And then the second thing that I learned about intention this past week when I was assisting in the program is that it's not just something that you write down or you state as this is my intention and this is the outcome that I hope to see and the goal that I want. It is a consistent holding of it, and if anything, it is a practice of holding the intention over and over again and consistently keeping to it and making sure that we are still on track. But what I started to see is that there has to be a consistent reminding myself of the intention and connecting myself back to it. So for example, in the program, one of the intentions that I had set was that everything that I do was to make a positive contribution to the higher path of the world's consciousness, because after all, this program is about changing people's lives and transforming them. And if a person can transform their lives, then who knows what kind of impact they might have in the world. So in the same way, me assisting in this program is like everything that I do here has ultimately an impact in the higher consciousness of the world. So when I was in the program, I started to remind myself, of this intention that I had set, especially when I started getting tired, when I started, going into automatic mode, which is like where, I'm so familiar with the tasks that need to be done in this program because I've assisted this program for many, many times over the last few years, that it's very easy to go into like autopilot and just do the tasks that are needed. But that's not how intention works. If anything, even in the task that we do, we must still have that intention in mind, because otherwise the task is just a task. Anything that you do that would get you closer to your dream is just a task. And when we are focused on task, what ends up happening is that we lose sight of the bigger picture. We lose sight of what we're doing it for. And it becomes very easy to get, to feel like, all these tasks are never ending, right? Because very well that when you have your day-to-day task list, it seems like all this work just never ends. So by connecting to the intention, I found that the tasks became less monotonous, it became less tedious, I was more present in doing them. And when I got tired as well, it's like, by connecting to the intention, I somehow gained back some energy and could continue handling whatever was needed to ensure that the program was, running in its best possible way. And so I started to see that in my 100-day illustration challenge as well. And because I have been struggling a lot with coming up with ideas to illustrate in this project, and there were days also where I felt like every single day I'm just doing this project and it's like nothing new is going on and I'm getting bored. And so now that I found that there is a larger intention here that I'm doing this for, by connecting to that, I found that I was more able to get into the state of doing whatever was needed to get the illustrations done. Plus the quality of the illustrations actually was a lot better than when I was just in the autopilot of getting the paintings done, like put some color down, because as an artist, after a while you get used to your techniques, right? And it becomes very easy to go into autopilot mode. So we want to always take a bigger step outside of the task, to look at not just the outcome, not just the end goal, not just the why we're doing it, but also what have we set as an intention. What is that much larger driving force that we are holding ourselves to as we get whatever it is done. And this again, it's not just applicable to your career, it's applicable to your relationship goals as well, to your health goals. What is this bigger thing that you are working towards? What are you really doing all of this for? How is it going to get you closer to living the best life that only you can possibly live? So if you have enjoyed today's video, subscribe to my channel on YouTube, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, or you can also directly message me through any one of my social media links which are in the write-ups attached to these videos, and I will see you next week.